Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Cook with Brooke, the cooking show that doesn't have any food. This is all about what's cooking at the Air Force Enlisted Village. So today we have a special guest. We have Ashley Bailey from the Sheriff's Office is here, and she's going to talk with us a little bit about some of the things that are happening within the world of crime. I'm sure that you're going to enjoy that a lot. We have such a fantastic Sheriff's Office, and actually the local police as well, Shalimar, Fort Walton Beach, just tremendous group of individuals that serve our community so well. Going to tell you a funny story. This is real. The Hawthorne House, of course, has memory care, and there was a resident that lived in Teresa Village. She lived over in Bob Hope Village. She ended up going to the Hawthorne House, and eventually ended up over in memory care on the Azalea Wing. Now, her name was Miss Faustine, and Miss Faustine, if you can picture her, had bright red hair, and she was very, very lively, filled with spunk. She used to sneak out and smoke cigarettes in the middle of the night, which is something we don't want you to do, but she would try to go do that, and she loved Dr. Pepper. Her and Chief Binnicker were both from South Carolina, so they shared that connection. So Miss Faustine was over in the Hawthorne House, was in memory care, and woke up in the middle of the night a little bit disoriented. And of course, you know, we all have the pet buttons that you can push. We have the plungers that people can push if they need assistance, or you can just call for a nurse if you need assistance over there. But she woke up in the middle of the night. She was a little bit confused, but what she knew she needed a Dr. Pepper. That was her priority, was a Dr. Pepper. So she reached out, she picked up the phone, and she called 911 to get a Dr. Pepper, which is kind of a cute little story. But what I love about that story is about 30 minutes later, one of the local deputies brought Miss Faustine a Dr. Pepper. And I love telling that story because it really shows how much our community understands what it is that we do at the Air Force Enlisted Village. So again, we're honored to have Ashley on board with us today, and we'll get to her segment in just a little bit. But I want to just quickly give you an update on COVID. I want to say thank you, most of all. We're a little bit over 200 days, depending on when you actually start the counting, of living in this COVID environment. And so far, we've just done a fantastic job as a community, protecting each other and doing the right things with masks and hand washing and making sure that we're keeping our social distance. That's such an important thing for us to do. We've had 3 residents total so far that have been identified as being COVID positive. None of them truly got sick. They were asymptomatic, but again, they quarantined, and it's been probably a month and a half since we've had anybody from a resident side that was identified as being COVID positive. We continue to test our staff members as well, and we tested about a week and a half ago, and all 120 of those tests came back negative. And we continue to test, and we continue to make sure that we're aware, and we're doing everything we can as a staff member to make sure that we're protecting you, our residents. So again, I want to say thank you. It's been such a wild ride. I mean, I'm not really sure how else to say that with everything that has gone on. And of course, we're not done. You know, the ride is still going. So don't let down your guard. Continue to do the right things. Make sure that you're being careful. Make sure that you're watching out for each other. And if you go into a situation and it feels like you're maybe not safe, then do the right thing. You know, walk away. Remove yourself from that situation and make sure that you're keeping yourself safe and healthy. So with that, we're going to go into a quick little break. Really glad that you're here today. We'll be back with Ashley in just a second, and we'll start talking about some of the local things that she's seeing within the world of crime prevention. Thank you very much. Be right back. Welcome back. Happy birthday once again to our September birthday babies. We now have a great honor of having Ashley Bailey. She is the Crime Prevention Manager for the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Department. And she is here today, and she's going to share a little bit. She'll be in both segments, actually. So she's going to share a little bit, first off, about what she's seeing with crime in the local area, and then the second segment, we'll talk a little bit about scams and some of the things that, unfortunately, are part of our lives right now. So, Ashley, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get started in this business?
Oh, my goodness. So I feel like, November, I'll start 16 years with the Sheriff's Office. And, they say time flies when you're having fun. And, man, it just has. I looked at that the other day. I was like, I cannot believe it's been that long. But I actually just kind of fell into this. I mean, I kind of feel like it was kind of my calling, so to speak. Some of the ladies know I was a flight attendant for 7 years. I lived in Atlanta. I was single, flied by the seat of my pants, literally, kind of thing. And then moved back home to be closer to family and felt like it was time in life to settle down a little bit, and met my military husband. And was fortunate enough that he got out at the same kind of time we met. So we're been both here with family. And just kind of told the sheriff this is what I wanted to do at the time, and was fortunate enough he put me there, and I've been happy as a clam ever since. So, I love it.
And it's a great fit. I mean, you can, I've heard you speak many times, and you're very passionate about this, and we can tell that you care so much about our community and the residents and the people that live here. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you, and I truly do. I mean, I love our community. I was born and raised here and grew up here, and I think we just have such an amazing law enforcement community. But plus, my job in itself is different than some of my other law enforcement counterparts, in the sense that I have the ability every single day to teach something to somebody that can change their life or save their life. And so that's really empowering and inspiring at the same time. And so, I'm just fortunate and lucky that I get to wake up and do what I love to do every day, because not everybody gets that opportunity. So
that's so true. Okay, so tell us a little bit. You mentioned it might save somebody's life, or it might prevent somebody from being in a bad situation. Tell us a little bit about what you're seeing in the local area. Obviously, we live in a great community, but there are some elements and some aspects of things that aren't right. So tell us what you're seeing and what the residents may want to know about.
So first, I want to make sure that the residents know that, you see all this, well, right now the media is such Debbie Downers. I mean, everything is doom and gloom, and especially with all this stuff about the riots and all of that. And I've had people reach out to me in the community. And, we're just so fortunate, as I say all the time. One, our law enforcement agency does not have that kind of relationship with our general public. So we're really fortunate with that. The other part is, of course, our military being here, and the military partnerships, and just the love we have back and forth for the community and the military, I think shows and comes through. So, the residents, I don't think, need to worry about that. I don't think they, the sheriff doesn't feel that way either, that we're going to have riots in the street tomorrow or any of those things. So that's good. But the main crime that we have is still what we call crimes of opportunities, because we do want to live in a tourist area too, where we have a lot of people come and visit. And with all these people that come to visit, sometimes come some unsavory visitors, right? And people that maybe are doing something, and also drugs tend to bring in crime as well. So, and we're working on that problem very bad. But making sure that your car is locked, that you aren't sitting in your car unlocked and on your cell phone, some of these basic things, but especially for our ladies, making sure you're aware of where your purse is. And I still see, when I shop at Walmart all the time, every Saturday, the ladies with the, purse in the buggy. And now we're all masked up and you can't see as it is. And so, it just is a little bit more distracting. So making sure that you're aware of your surroundings and aware of what's going on, and we don't leave our car unlocked, leave your stuff sitting out in your car, because that still is the number one crime and the number one problem that we're seeing.
Yeah, and I see it too because it's easy to get lulled into a sense of safety and complacency, which obviously is something you want. You want to feel safe, and everybody will lean in that direction. But the reality is you can't really let your guard down. You have to be very careful at all times, don't you?
Yeah, and unfortunately, we do have to pay attention. And, I say all the time as a civilian, I'm guilty too. Like, I can't throw that stone in my own glass house. I have my own moments of, we're so blessed that we live in such a safe place that when you walk out the door all the time, you aren't like nervous Nelly looking at the guy, in the bushes. So we're really fortunate of that. But
Right.
in the same regard, we do need to pay attention and do need to watch what's going on around us.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, so we'll be right back. We're going to go over and we're going to recognize some of the sponsors for our 6th annual Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force James Binnicker 9K run. That's coming up real soon. It's a virtual run, which is a little bit different, but we've got some great sponsors that are supporting us, led by Eglin Federal Credit Union and the great people over there. So let's go take a look at some of those sponsors now. And we're back. So we're having a great time here with Ashley Bailey from the Sheriff's Office. Thank you again for coming out today. We talked a little bit about physical crime in the first segment, and in this one we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the scams that are going on and some of the really dishonest practices that unfortunately we see pretty regularly, and you probably see way too much. But tell us a little bit about that and how maybe we can help our residents be aware of this.
Okay, so the scams are just off the chain. I don't know how else I can say it. I mean, they have been relentless. When we were in lockdown and quarantine lockdown and all of that, it got real quiet. And I was so excited because I was like, yay, maybe they just are going to go away. But no, just like everything else with 2020, that's got to be crazy too, right? Everything's crazy 2020. We're going to say scams are too. They have just been relentless. So everything is still trucking along. There's nothing that's dropped off the radar. Before we would see them kind of go in this wave where we would get like a lot of calls about like the IRS scam or the Social Security scam or you're going to be arrested scam, which so many of our residents have heard of. And then it would drop off and get kind of quiet and then it'd come back up. Now it's just this like steady deal these days. So those are still going on, but some big red flags are the same. If you are getting a phone call and they are wanting you to pay with an iTunes gift card, a prepaid Visa, they're directing you to pay, other than a normal way that you would pay for a bill, that should be a huge red flag. Right. Should be a big red flag. Also, the standard is you aren't going to get arrested. Your residents are great, upstanding citizens. I don't think any of them have to worry about us coming in here and making any big arrests anytime soon. So that's another big, so that seems to get people flustered the most. And then the other thing that we've seen that is a little different, though, of course, is the COVID scams. So being careful to, as always, not doing anything medical that your doctor has not prescribed. If your actual doctor has not prescribed that you need something, then you don't need it. Don't let the COVID fear drive your decision making, and don't buy any medical products or face coverings or any of that kind of stuff that guarantees anything, because we all know right now things are just so up in the air, and that's just one of them too. So there's no guarantees at this point. And so that's another one. And then the big one is the sweetheart scam. And this is the one that breaks my heart, I think, the most, is that I know that we've had some widows, not only here, but throughout our county, that have fallen for the sweetheart scam. And so, you know, for our residents, and especially our women, but we have had even a male victim, they need to be careful of having relationships with other people online, especially people that you have not met like this in person. So, you know, we go over this all the time with our young people, and they teach this in school and high school, but even as adults, we forget.
Right.
You know, we all kind of forget. So it's important not to have relationships with people online, and to remember that you never know whom you're really talking to. That people can be whomever they want online. I mean, that's one of the great things, right? I mean, you pull up Facebook, nobody puts on Facebook how horrible their husband is, or what a fight that they had, and how they didn't take out the trash the night before. I mean, you know, that's not what people are putting on there. They're putting on there, oh, I have the greatest husband ever, right? And so it's the same thing. It's that animosity of being online. So making sure that if somebody's asking for money that you've just started a relationship with, and when I mean just started, I mean under a year, that's a big red flag, especially if you don't know them personally and in person. So, but as always, I hope your residents know any of them can always call me on my cell. They can always contact me. That's why my cell phone's out there. It's on the internet. I know there's a number of widows that have it. So if you have it, feel free to share it. And that's what that's for. It's so if they have any problems, concerns, any of that, you know, I just have such a heart for this place, and hope that they would contact me and let me help them.
Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. About 6 months ago, somebody was sending me emails saying that somebody was trying to steal my identity, and they had basically grabbed some Facebook photos of me, and they said, this person is trying to steal your identity. You should contact so-and-so person. And I said, well, the person I'm going to contact is Ashley Bailey at the sheriff's office. And I put down your contact information on there. I said, you should contact her too. And I never heard another word. So never heard another word. So isn't that amazing? So
that is amazing.
Yeah, so if you want to use Ashley's name to check somebody and make sure that they're legit, that's a good way to do that.
That is actually a great way to do it. And you can always throw me under the bus, and I say that all the time. But also, you know, when you have these scammers on the phone, you can tell them. I mean, we have so many savvy seniors. I mean, so many that they know exactly what's going on, and they're quick to tell people, you know. And that's okay. But when you do tell them, I always say, be careful for the choice words. So you just say this, and then you hold the phone out, because get ready, they're going to say a few. And you can always do it like my husband's grandfather did, Pawpaw. You can always say, I'm going to pray for you, too. And they might need that, too. But that's going to be, you know, we'll leave that up to the residents and let them decide.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you very much. We really appreciate you coming on and sharing, and again, for your passion for the entire community, but certainly for the Air Force Enlisted Village. You've been out here many times before, and you've shared your stories with us, and we look forward to having you again. But any final words for the residents or the people that are watching about what they need to be aware of?
No, I would say that just those main things, you know, be savvy. If you are going to be on Facebook, check us out at the Sheriff's Office page. Michelle and Nicole do an amazing job putting all of that out there. It's one of the places that we get to put all this fraud and scam, you know, tips and stuff out there all the time as well. And so it's just a great way to keep up on what's going on. But other than that, you know, be safe out there. Don't hesitate to call us. And if you need us, we're just a phone call away.
That's great. And of course, you can always contact anybody on the AFEV staff as well. If you have an uneasy feeling or you think something's not right, please take the time and double check. So,
absolutely.
So thank you again, Ashley. Well, hopefully you enjoyed that conversation with Ashley. She is such an amazing leader for our community. The passion that she has for protecting people and for educating people. We're truly blessed to have her available and coming out to talk with us. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. It's been my pleasure to be with you today. The referral program that we just talked about is an important piece of what our community is trying to do right now. We're trying to reach out to more people and let them know. We have such a wonderful community, and we have so many people that come in, and for the first time they're here and they're going, I had no idea that this place existed. I had no idea that this community or a place like this was available to me. So we're asking you to reach out to your friends and to the people that you know, and as we've been saying, hey, this is a great time to pick your own neighbors. So reach out to the people that you know and love, let them know about our community, ask them to come in. There may be a benefit for you, maybe a benefit for them through our referral program. So thank you again for watching this episode of Cook with Brooke. We'll see you again in a couple weeks. Look forward to talking with you around the campus. Please don't hesitate to let us know if there's anything that we can do for you. The weather's been a little bit crazy recently, so be safe out there. Make sure that you're being careful. And again, let us know if we can help you. God bless you all. Have a great day. Thank you.